Hello everyone, back to tuning in to today's Spur video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the 10 to 14 days for today's Spur video. Day 10 will take us to the 30th of January, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS ensembles. We won't be having a look at the CFS V2 in this video because the CFS website has actually crashed just before I did the video. So we have got CFS in January Friday though, so you can see the 4 weeklies from the CFS in January Friday, but we won't be able to include CFS monthlies in this video. And we won't be able to bring you, not doing very well, we won't be able to bring you the options on the table within the ECM ensembles either, because once again, the Alternate Met Office, they haven't updated. So, we're not doing very well for this video, but we have got plenty still to be getting on with, hopefully. So please like, share, subscribe on the video. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Let's start off with last night's GFS 18Z, aka the pub run. Just wanted to note this for posterity really, because it did something very unusual. So we're in the stratosphere here at 10 HPA. These blue colours are the cold temperatures at 10 HPA in the strat. Right, so let's run through, and you can see that next week we're going to get a warming of the stratosphere over Siberia. Quite a significant warming taking place over Siberia next week. Trying to push in towards the North Pole as well. But look at what the pub run did at the end of January and into the beginning of February. Produced a very, very dramatic warming indeed right over Scandinavia. That's very unusual. Very unusual place to get a sudden stratospheric warming over Scandinavia there with both deep red colours. I'm not sure what the impact of that will be, other than maybe it will increase the chance of a Scandinavian high. But to be honest, I'm not sure what the impact will be, because it's a very unusual place there, you know, to see that. Normally you get that like in the North Atlantic or Canada, mainly Siberia. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the impacts there'll be, but I wanted to note it for posterity, really, because it's not something that you see every day, a sudden stratospheric warming occurring over Scandinavia. It was an outlier, and it hasn't been repeated this morning. I'm going to show you today's latest 2 GFS runs, starting off with the midnight run. Again, we've got blue colours here right now, the cold temperatures in the stratosphere over the top of the pole. That's polar vortex at its roots. Of course, next week, early next week, just a couple of days away now, we're going to get our first major warming of the stratosphere over Siberia. Remember, that's not a sudden stratospheric warming at that point, because it's not penetrating into the North Pole, but a major warming is occurring over Siberia in the stratosphere during the early part of next week, and that does start to try and penetrate in towards the pole by the end of next week. Actually begins to displace the polar vortex at its roots out into the North Atlantic and into northern Europe. That's what we call a displacement event of the of the PV. In the extended range, what happens? Well, another warming develops here in the closing days of January, this time in a much more typical place over Siberia again. We do get another one quite close to Scandinavia. That's like northwestern Russia. So, it's not that far away from what the pub run was doing, really, but around the beginning of February. That also tried to penetrate into the North Pole. So by the very end of the midnight GFS run, it does also got a very, very much weakened polar vortex. So it's still in business to some degree, but, you know, a very much weakened PV there in the opening days of February. I think this would be enough to send the solar winds into reverse at the end of January and into the beginning of February there with the midnight run. The GFS 6Z looks like this. So again, we find that the first warming over Siberia is going to occur early next week, Monday and Tuesday. And that will push into the North Pole to some degree and displace the PV at its roots out into the North Atlantic, into northern Europe. On the temperature scale there, you know, we're going to around minus 30, something like that, over the North Pole. So, quite significant warming. Probably not enough to get the solar wind into reverse at that point. But then we get a secondary warming appearing in the closing days of January, and that one also starting to push in towards the pole. Just repeated warmings really pushing into the pole. I would have thought by the beginning of February we are likely to have the solar wind into reverse. Then PB still in business, weakened but still in business. No split of polar vortex, just a displacement of the PV into the North Atlantic. Let's have a look at the GFS ensembles then. So starting off with the control run. Current situation, or I should say situation on 20th of January, looks like that. And yeah, displacement event via a probable sudden stratospheric warming there with the control run. Ensemble member number 1 looks like that. Again, very similar to the control run. Ensemble member number 2 looks like this. Again, very similar to the control. Ensemble member number 3, again, quite similar. Ensemble member number 4 looks like that, very similar. No split with PV though, you'll notice. Ensemble member number 5 looks like that. Again, very much a displacement event. Ensemble member number 6 splits the PV. That one does successfully get us a split of PV with ensemble member number 6. Focuses the warming towards Scandinavia as well, you'll notice. A little bit similar to the pub run. Main thing of that is that it does split the PV though. Ensemble member number 7 looks like that. Displacement event. Very significant warming right over the top of the pole with that one. Ensemble member number 8 looks like that. That one splits the PV as well, I think. Ensemble member number 8. Ensemble member number 9 looks like that. No split of the PV. Displacement event with that. A little bit toned down with the warming as well, maybe. Ensemble member number 10. Again, very significant warming of the stratosphere with that one, but doesn't quite get rid of the PV. You know, it's still there. Clinging on for dear life. Ensemble member number 11. It's like that. And again, you know, quite significant warming. Displacement event, but no split. Ensemble member number 12. Very significant warming of the stratosphere with that one, but doesn't split PV up to the 5th of February. Ensemble member number 13. Looks like that. Ensemble member number 14. Again, very significant warming of the stratosphere, but not enough to get rid of the polar vortex. It's still in business up to the beginning of February. Ensemble member number 15. Again, significant warming of the stratosphere with that one. Not enough to get rid of the PV, however. Ensemble member number 16. Again, significant warming, but the PV is only displaced, not split. Ensemble member number 17. Again, very significant warming, but no split. Ensemble member number 18. Also has a very significant warming of the stratosphere. Ensemble member number 19. Splits the PV. That one does it very nicely. Notice the 2 lobes of blue going off in opposite directions. That is a classic split of PV there. Ensemble member number 19. Ensemble member number 20. Also splitting the PV. 2 lobes of blue going off in either direction. Ensemble member number 21. Splits PV as well. Ensemble member number 22. No split, displacement event, a much weakened PV. Ensemble member, excuse me, ensemble member, get your teeth in, Gav, number 23, looks like that. Ensemble member number 24 does split the PV, but only very temporarily, and then it comes back together again. Ensemble member number 25, that's a very nice split of the PV with that one. That's a lovely split. And ensemble member number 26, displacement event with that one. Ensemble member number 27, quite a nice split with that one too. Ensemble member number 28. No split, displacement with that one. Ensemble member number 29. Again, significant warming, no split. And finally, ensemble member number 30. Again, you know, significant warming of the stratosphere. but no split, just a displacement. So it remains to be seen. Still, it's still a slow burner. It's still keeping us guessing. We should wait and see. This is from Weather is Cool, looking at zonal winds. So zonal wind forecast with the GFS ensembles. So all the green lines there on the 0 line are ones that are going for a reversal of zonal winds. There's quite a few of them, probably about 6 or 7, I would have thought. And a lot more that are getting very close to a reversal. You know, these ones around here, which is the majority, I think, are close to a reversal. Some of them do rebound the zonal wind into early February up here. They're the ones that don't split BB, and, you know, after the warming, the PV is still in business and able to get its act back together again. So they're the ones that strengthen the zonal wind once more into early February. We should wait and see where this goes next week. It'll be very, very interesting, I think, next week. Central temperature continues to come down. CT is currently standing at 6.2, which is a 2.4 degrees and 2.5 degrees above average. That's visual to the 19th. That will carry on coming down because we're in for some cold nights over this weekend into the beginning of next week. Could be lots of frost to come, so that will carry on dropping into the 5s in the coming nights. So these are the GFS, or coming days and nights. These are the GFS ensembles. Let's go weeks. So the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Norwich, starting off cold and average at moment. The upper air temperature beginning to recover through the early part of next week, but it's under high pressure, so could still be quite cold on the surface through the early part of next week. Probably just go a bit milder around Wednesday, but they've got another drop in the upper air temperatures towards the second half of next week. You might pull some cold air in from the northeast. After that, into the closing days of January, first week of February, there is a lot of scatter. Overall, looking a little bit on the below average side, I have to say. We did Ensembles watch last night, and we saw that a lot of the Ensemble members are actually looking quite cold into the opening days of February, with the hints of northerly winds and whatnot. Precipitation-wise, can be lots of dry weather over the next few days. A little bit of precipitation there around the middle of next week, maybe. And then possibly into the open February, start getting a bit more unsettled. However, that is a very dry ensemble graph for Norwich. Temperature anomalies on the 19th, 27th of January going to be cold on average for England and Wales, nearer normal for Scotland and for Northern Ireland. And precipitation anomalies from the 19th, 27th of January going to be drier than normal, very significantly so. Latest wind map from earth.knowschool.net shows that we're in a transient ridge of high pressure today. So the northerly wind is being pushed off to our east, and the milder southerly southwesterly is trying to get in from off the Atlantic out to west. These southwesters are going to struggle to get in over the coming few days, particularly so for England and Wales. So this is how latest you can make your roads. Looking midnight on Monday. High pressure reaching through the south of the country will be keeping frost and fog potential going there. Further north and west, we're going to have some milder southwest winds with, milder temperatures. Early part of next week, again, high pressure sitting over England and Wales could well keep frost and fog potential going into the second half next week. The high pressure pulls out to our southwest, possibly allowing some milder air coming around the top of the high. Clear away the fog and trying to lift up the temperature a little bit, particularly so in the north. Icon looks like that. Once again, we're going to find that, what are we doing? Once again, we're going to find that high pressure is reaching through the country through the early part of next week down to the south. We want to dry and quite cold weather, milder for Scotland and for Northern Ireland. Into the second half of next week, a bit of a northwesterly snap there. Could turn things a bit colder again, especially so for more eastern areas, picking up a bit of a northeasterly wind there, second half of next week. That's sort of this area of high pressure, so a lot of dry weather through next week. The drier second half of January will continue there. Right, where are we going next? We're going to the GFS midnight run, and once more we find that high pressure is dominating the weather over the next few days. So we're going to keep the mostly dry conditions going, picking up a northeasterly wind there for England and Wales in particular for the second half next week. That would be quite cold, could bring some wintry showers into eastern southeast regions. Meanwhile, further north over the area of high pressure will just be mostly dry and frosty. Another attempt at a northerly there just for day 10, around day 9, but northerly is plunging into Scandinavia, but only a slight adjustment westwards would bring this northerly right way through the country. Actually, we're just on the periphery of it. And then beyond day 10, it starts to turn much more unsettled with GFS midnight runs. Low pressure starts coming in from off the Atlantic, bringing milder, wetter and windier weather for early February. The GFS 6Z run, once more, once more has high pressure in the south, low pressure away to the northwest, to the early part of next week, so quite cold in the south, milder in the north. Then the middle of next week, we pick up this northeasterly wind, and that could bring colder air and maybe some wintry showers back into eastern and southeastern parts of the country. That carries on into the end of next week as well. And then moving up toward day 10 again, same idea. The high pressure starts getting broken down, turns milder, wetter, windier into the opening days of February. The Atlantic onslaught returns. Now, I've got to get the GM and the ECM up, so I'll just pause the video and I'll see you in 2 seconds. Okay, we're back, and onto the GM. Enjoy the video, by the way. Please you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this all of our videos. Thank you so much, everybody. Right, GM, again, on Monday, high pressure will bring mostly dry and quite cold weather to England, Wales, milder for Scotland and also for Northern Ireland. Tuesday, again, under the ridge, I think quite cold for England and Wales. Certainly, overnight frost is a possibility. And further north and west, Scotland, Northern Ireland will be milder and cloudier with the southwest wind. Probably a bit milder, cloudier for all of us by Wednesday, but we go back into those cooler north-northeasterly winds into the second half of next week. Perhaps, and then very close to a northerly blast there into the last days of January. The main northerly is plunging into Scandinavia. We're just on the edges of it, but we really are very close to pulling in some of that cold air, and that cold air plunging through much of northern Europe. We're just on the edges of it. We'd only have to inch that high pressure a little bit further northwards and westwards, and we'd be, in the northerly. So a near-miss northerly there with the GM in the closing days of January. And then the ECMWF looks like this. Once more under the ridge, lots of dry, quite cold weather, I think, in the south. For the early part of next week, milder further north. Then the second half of next week, we pull in a bit of a northerly. Actually, as high pressure pulls out to our west, we start to pull in north-northeast winds. That can bring some wintry showers into eastern parts of the country. Northeasterly there at the end of next week as well, down in the south and in the southeast. And then by day 10, we're going flatter with high pressure sinking southwards. Looks like the Atlantic is about to start coming back in, so things milder, wetter and windier. This is my precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from tometeo.com. Finally, for this video, so most of the rain over the next few days will be in the northwest, very little in the south and in the southeast, to be honest. Just lots of dry weather with that high pressure dominating over the next couple of days. We cannot show you the options on the table, I'm afraid. We've been the ECM ensembles. Again, they have not updated. This has happened in the past. Normally they come back, but it's been a long while. It's been over a week, so I'm beginning to start wondering whether these will ever come back. But I'll keep looking, and if we get them back at the Icelandic Met Office, I will bring you that data. Right, so I think that's the end of the video. The CFS website has crashed. We haven't got the options on the table, so I think that's where we've got to end the video. I'm so sorry, everybody, but as I say, we're reliant on third-party websites. If they crash or if they don't update their data, then it knocks us on the head a little bit. So that's it. That's today's 10 to 14 day. And I hope you enjoyed what we managed to bring you anyway. Right, so that's it for today's videos. We are going to be live streaming though after 10:30 tonight, or at 10:30, and running it to about 11, something like that. So I shall see you later on for our pub run live. Tomorrow we've got the 6 AM upload. We've got the ECM 42-day forecast coming up, weekend forecast and 10 to 14 day. So keep checking back to the channel for more. For this video though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.